Well, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing? Now I see that quite a few of you are on. Take a minute and please tag and share. Tag and share. That would be your Christmas gift to me. Tag and share. Let's just invite some people to come in to this conversation. It's going to be hot and heavy in here. This is the first time we have the Man Cave and this she shared together. There's quite a few people here who are just a little bit excited and anxious because this is going to be great. We decided to come on here on tonight, and we're going to come on pretty often, maybe every Monday night, depending on if you guys like this or not, if this is beneficial or not. We'll come back on maybe every Monday night and just kind of chat with you. So I wrote a book, and I took some of you on that journey. I believe God just gave me the insight to be able to do it. And it was crazy because I did it in 4 days. And if you read the book, you would see it's not something that, it's not like a, very thin book, and there's not a whole lot of information. There's quite a bit of information in there. And I believe that I got that download from the Lord. I was speaking to someone from the TBN publishing group, and they said that this doesn't happen very often when, somebody just gets a download. So I believe that God knew and knows what you're going through. And so he has allowed me to be able to write this book for you. Those of you who have not gotten the book yet, we want you to get it. I'm going to put the link right on my page, on both of my pages, so that you'll be able to go purchase the book, so you'll know what we're talking about. All right, we'll know what you guys will know what we're talking about. I'm not seeing you guys liking and sharing. I only have 4 hearts. So we want to get some love. Give me some love. It's Christmas. All I want for Christmas is some love from you guys, some hearts and some love. How about that? Don't have to go to the store. Don't have to think about social distancing. Just give me some hearts and some love. If you can hear me clearly, please also let me know if there's any problems with. Hello, Thomas. Can you hear us? Thomas, can you hear? Are we nice and clear? All right. So, okay. All right. I see that, Ava. I see that. Those of you who are on, just like and share. Good. I see the hearts went up a little bit, but still not getting all the love. Michael, let me know how's the volume. Okay, good. All right, Michael. Thank you so much. So we have some of the men in the man cave, and we have some of the women. I am going to introduce you to all of them, and tonight we're talking about your type. The type of man, the type of woman that you are attracted to. Now, the overarching topic is why we're not becoming wives, why we're not making that journey to I do. We may start with the hello, but we're not ending up with I do. And we want to just pause and talk about some of the reasons why that might be happening. And I want you to get your pen and paper, because this is not something that I want you to just get information from. I want you to get instructions from. The book is called From Hello to I Do. It's a dating manual. And so it's more instructional than it is information based. So tonight, and what I'm hoping to do and get from these men and women is to talk about type. Some of us have our types. It's, you like a tall man, a short man, a Jamaican man, American man, a light-skinned man, or woman. Why am I only saying man? Or woman. So tonight, I'm going to show you, through talking with these individuals, why your type does not work for you. The first thing I want to just kind of put there to be able to start our discussion is, if you have a particular type, of woman or man that you say you gravitate to, and you say, you know what, this is my type. If you're single right now, and this is something that is in my book, which is called From Hello to I Do. If you're single right now, then I want to humbly suggest to you that your type is not working for you, that you need to change your type. Because if you have had this type from, I don't know, your teenage years and then into your 20s and maybe into your 30s, I don't know if anybody here is 40 or over 40, it means that your type is not working. The other thing I want us to discuss, and we're going to break that down a little bit, that the reason why the relationships are not working, if you've had several relationships and they're not working, I want you to kind of stay with me a little bit. Don't run away because I say this. Could it be that the reason why you're not in any relationship right now or anything that is leading to I do, could the problem be the common denominator? Who has been going from relationship to relationship to relationship? So let's say, I'm Dr. Holmes, and in my teenage time, I had several people. I got engaged a few times. I got, maybe even on the wedding day, maybe I got to the wedding day and the man bounced. I got engaged a few times. Those engagements broke up. I was in really serious relationships and they're broken up. Now, the common denominator in this entire process is me. So while we're talking about how bad the other person is, are we going to say that you're only attracting bad people? Or can you be the bad person? I know that sounds hard, but could the problem be you? And we are going to dig into that a little bit on tonight and see how it is possible, probable, that the person that is inside of you is the reason why you're not getting to I do. Now, let me get your thoughts and comments. I'm going to bring the panel in and we're going to have this discussion and we're going to have a really, you know how we do it. This is not going to be something on the surface. If they go on the surface, I'm going to push them deeper. We're going to go deeper. We have some really, really great women here, and we have two of the men that will push the buttons. Let's say it nicely. Push the buttons. In fact, let me introduce you. In fact, it seems like we have three men. So let me introduce them to you. Let me introduce the men first. I always like to honor our brothers and be able to give them that honor by making them be first. So let me introduce them to you. We have Joel, who's part of my team, my staff, who does a whole lot on the background, but for 2021, he has to be in the forefront. So Joel, say hi. And then the man himself, this man, this is a troublemaker. Well, I don't know between him and the other person, which person makes more trouble, but Rob.
Hey Doc, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. You guys make me happy because this is Christmas time and I'm hanging around my people. All right, let's bring him in. You guys know that it's either him or Charles, and now my arsenal is growing because I have Inyatu, I have Charles, I have Rob, I have Bruce, I have Joel. Yeah, don't tell me nothing. I got the men in the room. How you doing, Big B?
I'm doing well. I always feel safe and protected when I'm on a panel with Robert. I'm ready to go.
Listen, I'm scared now. I'm scared. He's protecting you. Okay. So let's bring these ladies in and we're going to have this discussion. We're going to talk about your type. And this is not a male-female thing because you guys choose the wrong type as well. I'm just asking that we unmask a little bit tonight and we share from that deep place. People are in real trouble and relationships need real help. And it's yesterday for the surface. Everybody is doing things about relationship. We want to be able to unmask real quick and in a hurry. So let's bring Caprice. Caprice has been on, so she knows the deal. I just discovered Martin today. And who else do we have in here? I think everybody else is. Where is? Oh, okay. Sharon. Sharon is part of my staff as well, and she stays in the background, but nobody, no staff left behind is the motto and the mantra for 2021. I don't think I left anybody out. So we have Bruce and all right. So guys, you heard my introduction, and we're talking about we're trying to encourage everybody to make sure that they buy my book, and I know everybody on this panel already have a copy, so you know what I'm talking about. I spent a lot of time talking about types, and that's a big thing. People just said, you know, he's not my type. There's some people that we would just disregard real quick because they're not your type. What is your take? Let's just kind of go around the room and let's talk about that. Talk about your type and how your type has been successful or not successful for you. Again, I don't want to be surface. I want you to give me some tea. All right, let's start. Let's start with the men. So Robert, types, talk to me. Okay, Robert, it seems that you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Like I was finna say, when I was younger, my type was the hot girl. In other words, the body, the face, the everything that was going on. And I had to realize that I wasn't going anywhere with that type of female. Now I was having fun. It boosted the ego. I could walk into the room, guys pat me on the back, but that wasn't taking me anywhere. That wasn't getting me anywhere. I had surfaced with a female. That's all I had. But as I got older, the type of woman that I have to be with has to be a thinker. She has to be a person that can create, just like I can. But when we get into the conversation about types, the reason why a lot of people are single is for that reason. Your type is the individual that is keeping you single, like you said, Doc. And the reason, like with a lot of ladies, you know, there are, in my opinion, there are four type of men. There's the hood guy, there's the street guy, there's the gangster, then there's the man. Now, a lot of women right now, we're just gonna use the street guy for a minute. A lot of guys are into that, the
Robert,
roughneck.
Rob. Would you say that again? Because I think this ear heard something different. Let me turn this one. Say that. How many men? What types of men? I want to hear it on this ear.
there, there are four types of men. There's the hood guy, there's the street guy, there's the gangster, and then there's the man. A lot of women today are dealing with what you call the street dude. Now, the hood dude is just a dude from around the way, around from the neighborhood. He wants to be a street guy, but we're gonna stay right here. The roughneck, the dude that is the risk taker in this, that, another. There's a fantasy about this particular guy, but usually in that fantasy, there's no reality to it because a lot of women are not looking at it when they deal with these guys from a street level, and they've been attracted to the dude when they was in high school, when they was in college. These are the same guys that mess up the credit. They have the outside babies. They have you being confronted on the town. You get the crazy text messages. You get the females coming up in your face, want to pull the weave out your hair, try to black your eyes and this, that, another. But for some reason, to you, that guy is sexy. And for whatever reason it may be, you think that your love, your caring, and your nurturing is going to bring that dude out of the street. It's not gonna. It doesn't work that way. And usually by that time, those are the same. You still have that same mentality where you hear women say, "I don't know why he won't act right. I'm a good woman. Why doesn't he see me?" He doesn't see you, baby, because you are just like the street. I take you as you are. I'm gonna use you to better my life or do what I have to do out here in the street. A lot of women think that if they get with a street dude and love them right, they gonna be the only one. No, baby, real life, reality, when you mess with the street dude, that dude is gonna have another chick somewhere else. That's a reality. this fantasy stuff, this power, this what stuff you see on HBO and Stars and this, that, another. That's not real life. Real life, when you mess with a dude in the street, you are a side chick. You always will be. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's one of. But I can go into the other ones. But I let Bruce go
No,
ahead and
no,
go on.
I want us to go through the other ones. So, but let's kind of talk about this a little bit, ladies. What's your thoughts of about that? Is this something? Is this a type that we're attracted to?
No, not in our 40s. Heckies, no.
Hades.
Well,
No.
I ain't say every, but there's some 40-year-old women still out there.
Look,
We can go from the celebrity level. Well, let's go from the celebrity level. Let's look at Sierra.
The level of a woman who is well established, who have her stuff together, who is looking for a man who's intelligent. We're not looking for hood dudes. We're not looking for street dudes. We're looking for guys that are on the same mind, the same level that we're on. So let's that hood stuff, that street stuff is 20 years ago. You know,
okay.
But not for every woman.
What
It may be for you, but not for every woman. We have to be
not for every woman, but you categorized it as if it was every woman. That's not what every woman
It is. When most of the women you talk about, when you talk about that guy, y'all ain't talking about a dude that's established. When you start talking about your last relationship, the last dude that broke your heart, you ain't talking about no dude that's established. Let's just be honest.
No, I think I did.
You see, this is. I told you guys it's gonna be hot in here.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
We have.
It's not about being established as a man. It's about, is he for me? Is the basic foundation that he has as my type? Is he for me? It's not about him being established. Yeah, he was very established. He had a great job. He was a very intelligent, but was he for me? Was it my type? You know, he was not.
What is your type?
Now
what is your type?
Now we're going back to the original question Dr. Cheryl asked each one of us, what is our type? But since it's not my turn yet, I'll let Bruce go.
No, it's fine. And this is the first time we have. I love the dynamic. We have the she shed and the man cave in here, and it's getting hot. Ladies, no, my question to you, we're going to come back to the original question. How much? So Caprice is saying she does not agree with that, right? One of the things that hit really hard home when he said it, because when we talk about our exes, we talk about this ex, he's a dog, he ain't worth nothing. But 2 months ago, he was just kind of either shacking up with him or loving on him or whatever else, right? That was the same dude. But when he's behind us, we talk about him like a dog. When he's in front of us, he's a prince. How many of ladies, talk to me, Marlene, what's your take on what he's saying? We know Caprice is not with it. I'm not going to tell y'all where I'm leaning, but Marlene, what do you think?
I agree to a point with Robert, because they do have some women out there who are in their 40s and over who are still looking for the street guys. I know a few of them in particular, and I think it has a lot to do with, it goes back to their childhood, where they because they will always say things like, well, I'm living my life now, and I didn't have that life when I was younger, so now is my time to do whatever I want, but it's like, it still happens. And I think that woman is probably still finding herself. She's lost somewhere. So she's trying to find, something in someone else that she's missing in herself. And I do agree with what Robert is saying. I mean, I don't want a street guy. I was never attracted to street guys, even when I was younger. So for me, my type, probably a few months ago, I changed my type in terms of, because I realized that limits your search. Also, like, keep an open mind. Also, it's like prejudging someone, before you actually give them that opportunity to, to show themselves as who they really are. So I don't really go for the type anymore, because it's clearly not working for me, So another thing that I came across recently was, I think Caprice mentioned something about like looking for intelligent men. But what about if you, as a woman, are very established and you meet someone who is a great guy, he has great character, but he works for half of your salary, would you dismiss that person? Because I recently heard a story of a couple where the woman, she was established, she had her own place to stay, and the guy, he was living with his mom in his 30s, but she gave him that chance, even though it was long distance. There was so many things that society or even the regular person would say, no, don't do that, because we grew up in the church thinking that you should not date a guy who doesn't have a job or who lives with his mama. You shouldn't date that guy. So we will grow up with all of these limiting beliefs, thinking that that's the way to go. But that's, in their situation, that didn't, it worked perfectly for them. She was able to give him that chance, and they're married today for 5+ years. If she had listened to what other people were saying, she would have missed out on that opportunity. And that's the same, like for me, it's like I am not with that type anymore. I had a certain type, a certain way, and all of that. And I'm like, no, because it's not working. Like every time
we're gonna test it, Marlene. We're gonna test it. We hear what you're saying. We're gonna test it to see if that type has changed. Don't worry, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. So I like where we are with in terms of what Rob is saying. So let's bring Bruce on, and then we'll piggyback on there, and then get something from Sharon as well. So Bruce, what's your types? What's your take on types? And you probably didn't see some of the man cave and the she shed thing. But if a woman, and let me see if I can quote Bruce a little bit. If a woman is making 50,000, no, if a man is making 20,000 and a woman is making 200,000, then the man is making 220,000. Bruce, the man, is making 220,000. Nothing about your money. It's his money, and he'll tell you how to spend it. That's a Bruce thing.
Well, no, I'm not going to say I would tell you how to spend it, but if I'm making half as much as you and we putting our money together, then like I said, I'm making $250,000. See, but that mindset, that mentality, that I'm sure 100% hands down that Robert understands what I'm saying. But the modern day, I'm not talking about the biblical times. I'm talking about the 2020 average sister does by no means understands that reality, or would meet men that have that level of masculine energy, that level of masculinity, because most men nowadays have more feminine energy than masculine energy.
So okay. Let's come to types. Let's talk about types. What is your take on types? Because everyone here, I'm thinking, is single. So let's talk about types. What is your concept about types? Does types work?
I believe for a woman, and of course I can't speak for a woman. This is just my understanding and my beliefs. I don't believe a woman should have a type, because a woman still struggles with understanding, like Rob said, the difference between fantasy and reality.
Bruce, so should a man have a type?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Should a man have a type?
No, a man should not have a type.
Oh, so you mean people should not have a type on general?
No, I was making reference concerning women, doctor. I was specific, doc. Yeah, I was specific. Yeah, I was specific.
Okay, all right, talk to me.
A woman should not have a type she should know what she needs, what characteristic that she needs, and what characteristics that she's going to flow best with, not because of her education. You know, I hear a lot, and I'm sure Robert hears a whole lot too, of this talk about women being established. What does that mean? Education and a financial goals being met, that does not mean that you're established. That just means you're able to pay for things. The establishment has to be internal. Where are you concerning your spirit, your emotional IQ? Where are you regarding that? Where are you regarding learning how to be obedient to me, following my lead? Yeah, I'm going there tonight, Doc. Y'all got me on the right night.
I mean, he's right.
Where are you regarding that? I am, praise the Lord, I am a millionaire. Therefore, I care nothing about a woman's money. Where are you here? Where are you here? I don't need you to be more intellectual than me, because if two people are alike, then one of us is unnecessary. So if I needed a type, she would have to be extremely, what's the good Christian word I could say for highly sexual, Doc?
Submissive.
Highly sexual.
She could be highly, extremely sexual and very humble. Not that I could walk over her, but she's very humble. She's a daughter of Sarah. And I'll pause it right there.
Okay, so one of the things that we talked about is that we're seeing you need to come over a little bit so that we can see
On the camera.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talk about is those some of those characteristics that you guys are talking about, you discover after, while you're in the stage one of the relationship where you're getting to know each other. So in the book, what I talked about is 7 different stages. And one of the things we're going to talk about later on is the fact that you should not date with your heart. Keep your heart in storage until at least level 6 or 7. But you have to go ahead and get the book and you'll see that. But some of those things that you guys are talking about would be discovered in conversation. How does this woman now, so most of the time, the initial type is physical. And the things that you guys are talking about that seem to have any weight comes later on. How does a man or woman, so I want to get the female perspective and the man's perspective. How do you start this hello journey? How do you start this journey with an individual and it end up into the I do? How do we start? Because some of the things would be to know how much money they're making, where they're working, and all of that. To first give them a hello. How do we now get to the hellos? And I don't think that a lot of us as women understand the level of rejection that men have because they initiate a whole lot of times. And I was telling someone, I was doing a workshop and I was saying to them that the whole idea of he that finds a wife finds a good thing. That's something that's written in the Bible. That finding is not, we focus on the word find and not wife. If you look at the original text, the focus should be on what he finds, not the process. So we're saying the man needs to initiate everything. Even in marriage, there's still people who are married and they want the man to initiate sex. So we want to throw that in the garbage. But how does this person? So the man, and the other thing with the whole foolishness about, I said foolishness of he that finds a wife finds a good thing. A man will find a woman, approach her, try to talk to her, and she dismisses him.
Mm-hmm.
Yet this woman goes on pulpits and places and say, he that finds a wife. No, when we say that, it sounds like when the man finds us, we say, hallelujah, praise the Lord, and we walk along with him. That is not the case, because we still choose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're choosing, that whole concept is non-existent. Because if the man, he that finds a man, so I'm standing here, I'm found, Rob finds me, and what should happen after that would be, okay, Rob, you know what? I've been waiting for you. You found me, I'm a wife. Let's go and try this. But the woman looks at him head to toe and be like, you must be out of your mind to even talk to me.
Yeah.
Well, for me, one of the things, key things that you were saying, and I'm gonna put this out here. The reason why women, I'm sorry with a man, the reason why we as men can talk about, I have dated a lawyer, I have dated a doctor, I done been with an engineer, I done been with a college professor, this, that, and another, it's because we, like Bruce said, we don't have a type. If I see you, I'm going to have a conversation with you. But women, what you do, you sit back and you're trying to put this fantasy of this image. My husband is this because I'm this type of woman. One of the things that women have to understand, men do not care nothing about your money, your degree, your image, or your status. We do not care. But a lot of women want to flaunt that out there. I'm a PhD, I'm an independent, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that, and we walk away from you. Because what you're talking about is your image. What is the inner person? Now, how we get to that point, when I find you, we got to have real conversations. We don't need to have just these certain, like we doing now. This is what we have when we out on a date. This is what we have when I'm sitting in your den, you sitting in my den. These are the type conversations we have. What do you feel about marriage? What do you feel about finances? Find out what's going on, because like I tell women all the time, I have to see my wife before I ask you. And if I don't see a wife in you, I will never ask you. And you wonder why I've been with you for 2 years and this, that, another. Why haven't you asked me to marry you? I ain't seen no wife. Because what you're telling me is I'm going to have to wait to put a ring on your finger. What am I waiting for? Because there's no guarantee when I put a ring on your finger, you're going to become a wife. You have to position yourself to be that. But how you get to that point, we got to have meaningful conversations instead of these surface conversations about the weather and this, that, another. We got to have those real conversations. Where are you going financially? What you're doing? It's just like a job interview. I want to see if I want to employ you into my service. You see what I'm saying? It's just like you filling out an application. So if you don't meet the qualifications that I have, I don't see a wife. I might have a moment with you. I might add you to a list of beautiful women that I have had, but you never came up to my status as women, as a wife. And that's about it. But that's why, like I told you, that's why women, you always hear them talk about the bum, the deadbeat, the unemployed, this, that, another, because when men such as myself or Bruce approach you, our masculinity is there. But I don't care nothing about you being a PhD. I want to get to know, who are you? I don't care nothing about you being an engineer. Who are you? But the first thing you want to tell me is your status. Be quiet and tell me who you are as a woman.
Okay. All right.
Cheryl, on that note, I agree with Robert, but I have dated a guy and he has, he said, oh yeah, my ex was a doctor, she was an attorney. I mean, you get all this. And I'm looking like, well, I don't have my PhD. Maybe I'm just not good enough for you. Because it seems like throw that back at you, like, oh, my ex was this and she had this PhD. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I don't have mine. So I guess I'm not good. And it kind of gets, I feel a little bit insecure because maybe I'm just not good enough for this man because he had all these women with these degrees and everything. And I'm just not his type. So I get like.
That was his poor attempt to communicate to you that he was getting a message from you that you were up there in the echelon and that he can flow in your on your level.
Wow.
That was a
Wow.
very poor attempt for him to communicate that.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because a man is not going to come in this conversation. A man doesn't come in, I dated a doctor. If he does do that, pass that dude up. I'm telling you that too. I'm telling the women that. Pass that. If you meet a man to come in and tell you my ex-wife was congressman this and she was engineer that, baby, swallow the steak, have a nice time, and do not talk to him anymore. Because what he's doing, he's flaunting his status. He's not talking about him as a man. He's not talking about the inner person. Now, to your question, when you asked about, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Why would you don't think you good enough as a cashier? What you mean? I'm not saying that you are, but I mean, because you a cashier, you ain't a beautiful woman, you're not intellectual, you don't have a mind. So why would you feel less than that? If the dude said, okay, you dated doctors. Since you had all these doctors and beautiful women, I would tell you as a sister, turn around and tell, where the women at? Since you had all these beautiful women in your life, where they at? Just like I tell ladies, when you come and tell me I done dated this dude or you don't meet my qualifications, okay, baby, I thank you. I'll apply for another job. I'm not messed up about that because I know what you want. You want status, you want position. And 9 times out of 10, when you deal with men on that level, you're gonna do as you are told. See, when you get those high value men, understand that's what they want. That's what they want. They don't want somebody with a career. They don't want. You're going to get on my game plan. You're going to do as I tell you to do. You're going to carry. You're there to bring forth my legacy and this, that, and other. All this stuff about your money and your degree, don't nobody care. Especially when you go after certain men.
Yeah. That's so good though. That's so good because one of the things that I'm getting from this is that you need to know your own worth. And I like what Rob said. Eat the steak, have a good time, laugh, and just enjoy the time, and then lose his number. Bruce said it. Bruce said that this might be the man's poor way of trying to bring you down because he perceives you to be at a certain level. So talking about all these other people that kind of bring you down because you're just a banker, just a mortgage broker, but I've dated blah, 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 blah. The thing about this, I think every time, if we can get women, and again, it's in my book, so you guys got to get it. If we understood who we are, and this is one of the reasons why I talk about leaving your heart at home until you get to kind of like level 5 or 6, because every person that takes you to dinner, every person that takes you on a date is not a potential spouse. They're a date. They're there. You're getting after that date, especially the first, second, or by the third date. That's when you decide whether it's going somewhere or not. You put them in a category, whether you know it or not. It's either we're going to pursue something and kind of see if we have something or not, or they become you enjoyed yourself. This was really good, so this is a friend person. But I think every time we go on a date, we're thinking it's going to. Yeah, he's going to marry me. And the other thing, and I want us to discuss this because most of you may disagree with me, I think we do ourselves a disservice by going on dates thinking it's going to end in marriage. I think we circumvent a lot of the process and the fun in it. Basically, you guys know I'm a psychologist, I'm a family therapist. I sit and I hear these women planning weddings. And I hear the men planning marriages. And I think we need to be able to make that distinction. So for a woman, we are thinking, he took me on this date. Girl, I found a good one. And the other person would say, he's a keeper. Because all we're thinking about in those initial stages, I'm not saying don't have a purpose. I'm saying initially, we need to be able to let the process take its own way, as opposed to putting on it that heavy weight of marriage. This is one of the reasons I advocate in the book again for online dating, so that you just get the freedom of just meeting someone. The church has said to you, if you go out with, I don't know if it's the church or just ourselves, a man says, hey, hey, Cheryl, what are you doing? You want to go hang out, non-pandemic times? Like, hey, this movie is happening. You want to go see a movie? In my head, it shouldn't be wedding bells. You guys, Sharon, what's your take? You haven't talked yet. What's your take?
Just unmuting. Well, I come from a different perspective because I've been married. So I'm not necessarily eager to be married again. So coming out of my relationship, I've learned to adjust to reality very quickly. You know how I think it was Bruce who said that we live in a fairy tale land. Yeah, I'm like cold water on your face reality. So, and sharing from the men in the man cave is like educated me completely on the way men think and, just the idea of how they approach relationships. So for me, I've learned to look for those solid things
Sharon,
that matter.
how do you know that in the beginning? How do you choose? I know you're not dating, but how do you choose who you date?
Well, so for me, it's not necessarily looking so much at as the physical as the primary thing that you're attracted to. I'm looking at it as, how is this person able to communicate? What's their emotional stability like? What's their relationship with their family members like? So I'm looking at the person and their ability to be of value in my life based on my upbringing and how I relate to my family. Do they have the same family values? I have a daughter. How can you complement that? I'm looking at those things first. So I, like I said, reality. I'm not, and I think it was Robert who said, it's like, you're putting in your resume. So I'm looking at your resume, doing the whole background check. If we're going to come together in this merger, then we have to both have value.
So I know you read the book, and you did. So one of the things we talked about is, and I think you guys brought it up in terms of the interview. I have worked, I think the biggest staff that I've had is 47 people. And if anybody has interviewed anyone, there's probably by the probation is about 90 days. The 91st day, you see somebody who you just like, yo, where's the person I hired? Because people come in interview mode, and they go through the probationary period, which might be the engagement or the leading up to the marriage. And then one day after they know that they're safe, they're in that safe zone, whether they have one ring or two rings on their finger, then the real person shows up. So I want us to really, really discuss if we can help some of the people who are listening to us. How do you choose who to date? Because we're talking about that. Hello. How do I now decide who I should date? Caprice. Okay. Somebody else who's going? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Caprice.
Okay. Go ahead, Caprice. How do we know? How do we?
Oh, there we go. I'm trying to unmute. For me, I like to get to know someone in their seasons. You have to get to know someone throughout the season. 90 days is certainly not enough. I want to know how you're around your family, your kids, your friends, your professional life. If you're angry, if I do something to make you angry, how do you respond in that aspect? How do you respond, at your lowest point? You lose your job, whatever the case it is. I need to know those things. So you have to get to know people in their seasons of life before I walk down the aisle and say I do. And, before I know that.
So we want to take it all the way to hello. I really want us, because we're going to get to the I do. How do we decide who we're going to give a chance to date? And I'm saying date. Now, this is not
okay.
The married person, the person you say I do would have to start at hello. How do we decide who do we respond to, who says hello?
If the foundation
has
that you have set is founded, for example, my foundation is my type. If you're a God-fearing man first, if you're respectful, non-confrontational, if you're a great leader, those basic foundations is to get past the hello. Okay, Bruce, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Anyone else?
every woman that's on this panel is physically attractive, beautiful facial features.
Well, thank you.
Just beautiful, right? So if I saw you on a New York street or wherever we live, and I approach you and we decide to talk, you don't know anything about me. You don't know if I worship God or Lucifer. You don't know these things. You are attracted by the energy that you get from me.
That's good.
That is what you get. It is only until we begin to engage in the dialogue. That's when you have to begin to discern the character of the person that you're dealing with. And you have to be patient. Jesus said, in your patience, possess your own soul. If you do not, if you operate off of impatience, we are going to possess it. Our energy is going to steer this movement in the direction that we want to steer it. So I really don't want to sound like I really don't want to sound negative, doctor, but I'm 52. And you know my history, doc. So, the experience that I bring to the table is well, I won't go there. However, I would say that you have to be able to discern the energy that you are dealing with. And it all stems from the hello at the physical attraction. We have to be proactive in understanding that is nothing but physical attraction in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So can we, because one of the things that happen, and this is what happens to us as Christians, we talk about things in this perfect ideal way, but we live, and it's not, we don't live what we talk. So can we agree or disagree that the initial hello starts with an attraction?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, physically. I have to be physically attracted to you to talk to you. But my next stage is, can I be a friend of yours? Not dating. That's why we have the conversation to see if I can be a friend of yours. Can we hold a conversation? Can we talk to each other? Can I feel that for you? Then we can go into the dating stage. I agree with you on that, Doc. That 90-day rule, it don't work. I could date you for 90 days, and 91st day, I start acting a complete fool.
Yeah, because
and a lot of times, why that happens, ladies, y'all give out the script. You sitting up here talking about, I'm looking for marriage. I want this. I want that. I want roses. I want the text message. I want you to say hello to me in the morning. I want all this. And the man sitting there right like this here, taking notes, writing.
Troy ain't never called me back when I called him. I don't know why Troy ain't never called me back when I called him. All that stuff.
I don't understand why Troy wouldn't do that. And I'm right there. She won't call.
Okay,
and I'm going to do this the whole
back.
entire time I'm with you. And as soon as you start telling Dr. Cheryl, you go to her, girl, I done found my man. Lord, geez. Got her. Now I'm finna hand you a script. This is what we finna do. Because now you're emotionally connected. You're emotionally connected. What did I go wrong? What did I say? Maybe if I try harder, if I give more, he'll stay. I got her now. I'm finna have you jumping through hoops.
And men are the same way. They have asked me the same question or comment. This is what I'm looking for in a woman. I want her assertive, submissive. I want a woman that can cook and clean. And some women do all that stuff. And when I do happens, you better get in there and cook your own grits make your own eggs. And it's vice versa.
Mhm.
It works both ways.
I think, however, though, I agree with that, because I know people who, you just kind of switch. Again, the 90 days, whether it's 90, 190, 290, it's expired. The woman gets what she wants. But I think, I don't know, I think the men have I don't know, this ability to not date with their heart. I think women come
We
in
date
heart first.
logically.
I think
We
men
date with
come
logic.
in heart last.
We date with logic. Y'all date with emotion. I look at you
Yeah.
from a logical point of view. I have conversations with you and I hear what's coming out your mouth. And
Yes.
logically, that doesn't make sense to me. Or logically, that cannot happen in a relationship with me. I'm not going to say every man. That can't happen in a relationship with me. So what I do is, that's like God in my heart. I have a moment with you and then I let you go. Because I realize that what's coming out your mouth is not logical. It
That's
cannot deal the way I don't deal in emotions. Whenever you deal in emotions, you lose thinking, you use your heart, because emotionally you feel like, if I love more, if I care more, if I do this. Sometimes you with somebody that doesn't want you or just wants you for that moment. That's all it is. That's where you get confused at. I tell ladies a lot of time, stop giving out the script. Start dating logically. Stop talking about, I want to be married in 2 years. Like my sister was here saying, you haven't seen me in my season. It might take you 3 or 4 seasons to see how stupid I am or how great I am. So while you sitting over there talking about in 2 years we finna be married, when I marry you, I didn't know you didn't take time to find out. Ladies, understand something. Any man can marry you. All they got to do is ask you, and you go to the courthouse. Now you're married. Who are you marrying? Are you marrying a man, or what do you have? You got to ask yourself that. What do you have? Move the emotion. I know it's hard. Move the emotion. Use logic a lot of time, but you want to use the emotion. That's how we deal. Men deal in logic. That's how we can turn it on, turn it off.
That is
Okay, can I say something? Men play on our emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
You string us along for years, and then you don't want to marry us. You guys do. I feel like most men play on our emotions. You use that to your advantage.
Can we get an amen from the men? Can we get an amen?
I would go ahead, lady.
Women can't do that logic thinking. It's something's just not in us to do. We're led by our emotions. We're emotional creatures. Our thing is we have to learn to try to work together and combine that logic and emotion where it works in both our favors when it comes to dating and relationship. We both have to want the same thing. And that's the problem. We don't want the same thing. Guys go in there, they see a pretty woman. Oh, yeah, we know we're emotional. She loving me already, and have no intentions with this woman, but want to put her in a hold space until he thinks the right one comes along. That's playing with our emotions.
A lot of times,
our emotions.
A lot of times that comes from us. See, as men, we distinguish 2 differences. And many times with the women that we experience, we know that you guys are not loving us. It is illogical that you can love us. You just met us. Or are you loving the way we are making you feel based on the narrative that you created? It has nothing to do with us. All we are doing, like you said, Caprice, is playing into your narrative. But we have to understand that it's your narrative. I don't know how many times a scenario has taken place and a woman may say to me, well, did you do such and such, right? Did you do such and such, Bruce? And I would ask them, hey, you've known me for a while now. You've heard my philosophies. We've had long conversations. I would like for you to answer that question. Well, I don't know, would you? You've known me long enough where you should be able to discern my character. You should have studied my movement and listened to me and witnessed me enough to know how I am. Therefore, you would never have to approach me with that question. But the reality,
you're not answering her question, though.
No, I'm not answering her question because I feel as though, I mean, eventually I would answer, but I feel as though you should know with the silly type of question you answered me, you are asking me, I would feel like a silly man if I answered it.
What is a man thinking when a woman probably in the first 3 months or so within that time frame says, ask the question, do you love me? What's going on in his head?
She has issues. There's something going on. She's trying to lock in. Do you love me? Sweetheart, let me love you. Don't ask me that. Let me
I need to go
love
out and come right back in, guys. My volume is dropped.
Okay.
Robert, now when a man, I often hear a man says, oh, I knew she was going to be my wife from the first day I met her. I mean, so is that not love? Is that not some type of emotion or attachment that he has?
Some men, now, are you talking about the man actually, he went off and married her, or you just talking about a guy using a line?
Well,
I knew when I first met you.
Not necessarily.
He actually married her?
Yeah, I mean, it's most guys who get married.
Well, I mean,
I knew you was the one when I first met you. I knew you was my wife the day I spoke to you. You know what I mean? So
we have a lot of men. Like I said, we human beings. As men, we got some brothers out here that are desperate also. They trying to hook in. They don't know who they married. Yeah, the first moment I met you, I knew you were gonna be my wife. How did you know that? How did you know that? And usually when you see those type of relationships, everybody talking about what they knew, in 5 years you see a divorce. You hear issues, you hear problems, because some of us are just, for some reason, it's this fantasy. We have to understand, we have to get to know each other. We got to be a friendship, we got to date, then we got to court, then we have an engagement, then we have life partnership to marriage. Those are the 6 stages. We rush past friendship. We go right into courting. You know, all the he's she is or he is, and I got to hold on to him. Like you said, you ain't seen nobody in their season. But some ladies, you have a brother that takes you out and spend $100 to $200 on a dinner. Oh, he's a keeper because he spent $100, $200 on that. How you know he got $100, $200 in the bank? How you know that? Or brothers, oh man, her hair is flowing. She got this, that, and that. How you know she ain't got student loan debt? What is it that you know about the individual that you are marrying or that you are courting at this time? Forget, like Doc said, we ain't even up to marriage. How do you know this person you can deal with this individual? Because you could be dealing with a woman that can't handle a crisis. That's extremely important for us men. I need to see you being able to handle a crisis. I need to sit back with them. I'm just going to use student loan. I'm going to see how you handle them creditors. I'm going to see if you're going to open your mouth to me and say, I need $1,500. I need $2,500. I need $3,000. No, I'm going to sit back and see how you handle your creditors. How you do that? And I want to see what kind of, because there may come a time that we have to handle each other's business. You see, I got to be able to trust you with my assets. You got to be able to trust me with your assets. See, that's the issue. We women, y'all look at it. You want my assets. What are your assets? What do you bring to the table? What do you bring?
My nice figure and my nice plump behind and my sexy, could put it on you.
That's good, and I think, you know what? That's good. I like you hanging from a chandelier, and I like you doing all the freaky stuff that you like to do. But still, mentally, what do you bring to the table? Because freaky sex, I can get that any day. Hell, baby, that ain't hard to get. You got women out here all day ready to be tied up and put a baseball in their mouth. They ready. I ain't got to worry about that. What you bringing to the table, baby? We got to keep it real.
Yeah,
What I
yeah,
was
yeah. So
Yeah, we got
should a woman in the first, well, let's keep the 90 days. The first 90 days, if a man says, I love you, you're the one, should she get all giddy and believe him within that first 3 months?
Pay attention. Watch him. He could be, but pay attention. Don't you fall over. Oh, he loved me. No, slow up. Wait a minute. Just watch him. Pay attention to him. Because you got to understand, with men, we become possessive. You got some nuts out here on the town. I love her. You the one for me. Next thing you know, you got a fool on your hands showing up at your job. You go out on this town with this brother. The next time I come up to you, give you the church. Who is that? I love you. Pay attention. Slow down. Slow down. He said he loved you. Check him.
All right, Bruce, what's your take? 3 months, 90 days. He's like, girl, I love you. You're the one. Should she just kind of fall out and like, yeah, honey, I met my husband?
It all depends on the mentality of the man. Someone who is like, I'll use me, doctor. Someone who is experienced, who's been there, done that, who knows exactly what he wants. It ain't gonna take 5 years for me to figure out what I want. And because I am full of the Holy Ghost, I'm gonna see if it's in you or not. And it's not gonna take me forever to see it. Therefore, with what I have established, if I say that to you, yeah. But not to sound arrogant, but to be real, that's not the average guy.
Mm-hmm.
The average guy is still building to be the best version of himself. Or he's trying to wait and see how much he can build off of you. So no, you got to watch that guy, like Robert said. You can't you just can't, in 2020, man, you just can't take people's words. You have to have those receipts. You got to get receipts. Love in 2020, love is as love does.
That's good. That's good. And one of the things, Yvette, we're going to hear a little bit from you too. One of the things that it's very interesting, I'm a theologian, and I really believe in the Bible, and I believe what God wants to say, he says, and what he doesn't want to say is not important to him. But in the Bible, you hear about the fact that there's coming a time where people are just going to want, I'm paraphrasing, the women are just going to want their last name changed.
Come on. You going, oh God.
Yep.
Go on, stay there, Doc.
I mean, that is something, it's in the, people talk about stuff like masturbation and some of those things that's not in the Bible. But then the things that's in the Bible, we're not talking about it. And that is something that is really there. And I hear, I sit when everybody goes, and if you're a carpenter, you're dealing with wood, or Bruce is selling houses, and the chef is making his stuff. I sit with these people and I listen. And I don't only listen with my professional ear, I listen as a human being. And I realize that we have a generation of women who are more interested in the changing of the last name and the 2 rings on the finger than the quality of the relationship that they're going into. There are men who are in marriages who are lonely, totally lonely. And the woman is just happy to be married.
Take away. I'm sorry, Doc. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Marry me. I can take care of myself. I have 100 degrees. I make over 100,000 a year. I have my own house, my own car. I can do that on my own. I just want you to take away my shame.
Yeah.
Take away the fact that I think I hit the wall. I think I'm over the hill and all those worldly terms and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Clock.
Yeah, that our people struggle with. So she wants him to take that away. It doesn't matter what his character is. It doesn't matter if he has personal convictions before his God. That stuff don't matter. If he got that mellow smooth and he's able to deliver it when you want it, marry me and take away my shame.
Mm-hmm.
A woman has to have her own personal standards that she has to be proactive with, that is not emotionally led. Because once it has been my experience, please correct me, Doc, but in my experience, man, this energy is overwhelming. And I'm talking about this masculine energy. And once we partake of it, once the woman partakes of it, everything else is out the door. But when we are initially dating and seeing each other, whatever that means, dating and all that stuff in the first 3 months, and you are engaging in this masculine energy, forgive me if I'm out of order, but you want to give me some. You want to respond to this masculine energy. That has been my experience, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean let's just be honest. You have quite a few women who are initiating sex in that point. They want to put it down, kind of show their skills and all of that as well.
They have to be able to discipline themselves in that arena. Mm-hmm. Because once you add that to your narrative, once I see that my masculine energy takes you out of your discipline, you're not going to look like a wife to me. You're going to look like something I'm going to play with for a period of time.
A moment.
Yes, you are looking for an experience. If I see that coming out of you, I'm going to make it an event. It's not going to be a long-lasting experience. It's going to be a momentary event. And women have to understand that you have to set your own boundaries for yourself, regardless of how you are feeling. That's the danger of being led by emotions.
Yeah, okay? So let's get some takes from these ladies. Yvette, what's your take on what these brothers are saying? We're talking about the dating hello period.
So just want to comment on what Bruce just said. Yeah, there is something about the male energy that strikes a female, but that energy, right, it has to connect with me in a way, right, that's going to do something more than just excite me to want to lay down with you, right? That energy has to have a driving force that's going to want me to be a better woman with you, okay, and for you, not just about laying down. It's about the level of commitment. It's about what we both have inside that's going to fill each other's need. And I'm talking about from a spiritual perspective, because yeah, it's good to have chemistry. It's good to know that my desire is there for you and yours is there for me. But if we can't co-create together in the manner in which God would bring us together to do, then we're just really wasting each other's time, and so I think
Well, you're
from
not wasting my
hello,
time,
right?
Yvette,
Like
because
for
you're giving me something.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Come on, let's talk, man.
So
Let's be
from
talking, right?
Okay.
So from the hello, right? So from the hello, right? The hello, there has to be something, right, that gets my attention, and it's not just going to be the way that you look, okay? It's going to be something that's in you, right, that causes something in me to want to move again, to be better. And so I
But
think
I think that you're going too far, because I'm saying
hello.
we're in Manhattan. I'm in a restaurant. I just want eating by myself. Somebody comes by and they say hello. Now, there's a hello and the person is walking, but this is a slow down hello, so you can kind of take a look at the person. In that moment, you're not thinking, it is not logical to think about Does this person have what it takes to do this or whatever? There's that initial connection. That's what I'm talking about. That initial, I don't know anything about you. Everything I know will come after the hello. Everything I know that would make me know I want a relationship, I don't want a relationship, I'm whatever. So the question we were asking is, what is that thing that would make you, not just look at the person, because as women, we know that. So, the person is there, you say hello, and then go back about your business. So somebody would know that's done. But there's sometimes you say, hey, yeah, hello, how can I help you? Once it goes past that HELLO, and you guys got to get my book, HELLO, the person needs to know that I got their attention. I'm not talking about we are going to have babies together or whatever. That initial thing, that thing now just attracts. And I talk about the subconscious mind that does a scan. And I think Bruce is saying that is the energy. I don't know if, as women, if we're saying it's something else.
So I feel like, okay, as I've gotten older, as I've matured, right, that initial chemistry, if you will, I feel like I'm so much farther than that. You have to really grasp my attention by something more than just you walked into the room and you're fine and I want to know more about you, because I really don't at that point. Like, I've had those moments in my 20s and in my 30s. So as a mature woman of 56, like, that's not what's going to get my attention. So for instance, right, when I met my soon to be fiance, right? What got my attention was his mind.
That is
and
not
how
possible.
he presented.
Listen.
No, it's not
possible unless he wrote a book. Because here's the thing. This is why I'm saying tonight is going to be, we pull the mask off. It is not possible to initially see someone and see their mind unless you read a book about them that they've written first and then meet them. It's just not logical. There has to be
but what
something. It might be their complexion. It might be something.
I was not initially attracted to what he looked like. And so the way in which we met was sort of unique. So you know how we met. No?
I know, but I'm not trying to put it out there.
Right?
I don't.
So let me.
I don't either.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So
I don't. Explain it.
So how we met. Oh, okay. All right. So this is how we met, right? So I had a subscription to Match.com, right? So I'm getting all of these messages from, guys, the typical stuff, right? And it wasn't enough, like my level of expectation in those things, my interest wasn't jarred. But now this man, he sends me a message. He tells me he reads my profile, and he wants me to read his profile, because what his profile contains is his personality type, okay, and what kinds of things he is interested in. Like, for instance, a list of books. Honestly, his list of books, his reading list got my attention more than what the next person was asking me, what was I cooking for dinner? And I found those things to be funny because it was, okay. And my first question for him was, what's your purpose in life? Because, see, I'm looking for something deeper. I'm looking for something and looking for a place that we can connect that's going to say, hey, we can go on this journey together and we're going to be able to produce fruit. Okay, that's not only going to grow us, but that could potentially grow, whatever our purpose is together. And so that was honestly what got my attention. It was not the way he looked. It was not.
I'm glad that you said that, because that proved my point. You read something. That's the only way.
Oh, yes.
So that is right. So that's what I was saying. The only way you can know his mind is if you read something that they have. Right. But for most
and
people,
it was very appealing, very attractive.
Is the are
But
you
there's a
attracted to the
physical
brother?
attraction there.
Huh?
Are you attracted
I'm
to
sorry,
the brother?
I couldn't hear you.
I
Are you
said,
Yes,
attracted to the
absolutely.
are
brother?
you attracted to the brother?
I am.
Okay.
So
I am, but it didn't start.
after you read that, if he looked like baby from around the way, you still would have given him. If he had no teeth, 700 pounds
No,
in
no,
a
no, no, no,
wheelchair, would you
no,
still have
no,
given him a chance?
no. There has to be, I feel like there has to be something that you're attracted to, right, in the person that's going to increase your levels of attraction in the other areas. But I feel like for it to just start there with just the attraction, I don't feel like that's going anywhere for me at this moment. Now, when I was younger, yes. And it's so funny because, as I get older, just simply being attracted to someone for the way they look, the way their physique is, and all that stuff, that just doesn't do it for me anymore. Because my goal was, first of all, not to sleep with him. Okay. And so we've been faithful to that. And one of the things that I said was, yes, I'm celibate. Okay. And I would like for you to be the keeper of my chastity. And let's honor God together with that. And he's been able to do it. And it's blown my mind because
Right, but here's the
Are
thing.
you
there have
guys
been
long
moments.
distance?
No, he's not long distance. But here's
No.
the thing.
Mm-mm.
One of the things that I said, and
Praise the Lord.
I say to people, because I find, I've been married now to my husband for 3 years, and I find him super sexy, super. So every day, so until you get to that on the wedding day, I told people I made it to this moment, and
Yes.
I didn't know if I was going to cross over, right? But we
Mm-hmm,
did
mm-hmm.
it. So it's not.
Don't get me
It's not.
wrong.
You see what I'm
The
saying? So
temptation is there.
right,
It's
but
there.
it's
The
so
temptation is
far
there.
every day. You have to say, Lord, I thank you for today, because you're mature.
Mm-hmm.
This is not. You don't have your
And we have
parents.
to pray. Listen,
Yeah,
it's real.
sometimes
But one of
pray
the things,
after they do it.
but one of the
Lord,
things
help
that
me
I
not to
like
do it
though is
again.
that we can, without physically doing it, we can explore each other's sexuality. And I think that's important because you have to have that
Bruce,
chemistry. He fell. He fell. No,
Bruce.
because you need to have those discussions. No, you need to know what's wrong, Bruce. What happened? You fell out your chair. What happened?
Now go ahead.
And because see,
No,
you know
go.
what?
Keep going, sis.
Because
I'm with you.
because yeah, because you need to find out one what your partner's attracted to. You need to prepare yourself. I feel like position is everything. And if you're positioning yourself to be a wife, right? You're not going to wait, in my mind, right? And just based on
Good,
how I've
good.
done it
Mhm.
before. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Because in an article that I wrote that's in Dr. Holmes's magazine, it talks about how sex ruined my relationship with my husband, right? Because before I got married, right, I was celibate again, right? And but we actually did have sex before we got married. But this was the thing. I was so caught up in church mindsets, right? That I had asked God, oh God, I've sinned all my life. Now I need for you to change me, right, into this
Right.
virgin-minded person that once we got together, my head couldn't connect with my body. And I felt
Right. You had prayed sex away.
I felt so incompetent. Huh?
You had prayed
What'd you
sex
say?
away. You had some.
I
You had
did.
suppressed your.
And it blew
You
God honored
suppressed your
that.
it
He
sexual.
blew
honored
my
that prayer.
mind. It blew my
He
He
turned you into
did.
a
But you
eunuch,
know what?
sis.
I didn't pray that prayer again. Listen, I didn't pray that prayer again. Let me just get that straight. So now it's like, all right, I'm okay to explore who I am, getting to know who I am, getting to talk about different things so that when I am married, I will be ready. I'm not going to wait until, to start having those conversations. I think people should do that and get to know, something about your partner from that
Yeah.
perspective.
I mean,
But it doesn't mean
that
you go into where you said you didn't want to go. But I think you ask questions. I think you get to know. There's an intimacy that you are a part of that is natural,
Mhm.
that's pure, that's loving, all those things without it being tainted. And I think people should have those conversations so that they can know what their expectation is and what their partner's expectation is.
Yeah,
May I ask
I do
one
agree.
question?
Wait.
Yes.
Really quickly, and then I'll I'll submit myself. How old is your fiance?
It's 59.
Okay. Thank you. Pause.
You're welcome.
Okay.
But it's one of the reasons why I understand where the sister's coming from, because I done had conversations with women, and I tell them a lot of times that your heart and your vagina is connected. That's one reason why women kind of try to stay away from sex, because once that sexual act happens, the emotions overflow a lot of time. What you have to understand with a man, his mind and his penis is not connected. That's why men can go out here and explore and do whatever and feel nothing for you as a woman, because me having sex with you is just an act. For a woman, it means a little bit more. But what I tell now, celibate, celibate, for me, abstaining from sex, it'll work for the people that need it. But if for me, we can still have those conversations, what I like, what you dislike. We can get into those different things, because like I said, we talk about the church mindset. Just because I go to church don't mean I'm a freak. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I get freaky. I can go praise the Lord, but when it's time to come to the bedroom, I know how to take care of business. I ain't finna get that caught up in scripture. You see what I'm saying? Because in the word of God, it says nothing in the bedroom, nothing in the marriage bedroom is defiled. So I can bring the handcuffs and the feathers and this, that, and another. And if you want a whipping chain, we can do that. But what it is, we can have those conversations. That's what happens to us a lot in these relationships. Just like what she was saying, and I agree with her. You have to have real conversations with your mate or the person that you dating. See where they're at mentally, because a lot of times sexually, that person might be into BDSM. They all into that. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't you. You marry this person. Here comes somebody coming out, with mask and all this, and you don't know.
I don't know what BDSM is.
The reason that I asked.
What is it? What is BDSM?
Bondage and
bondage, domination, and sex.
Let's steer back to the left.
Okay. All right, good.
Let's go back to the middle, Doc.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. I
don't want people saying Dr. Holmes is promoting soft porn and all.
I know.
Okay. But I'm just saying, I agree with the sister in what she was saying. You got to have meaningful conversations.
I agree with it too.
Yeah, this is great.
You got to have meaningful conversations. And sometimes you got to realize too, when you get to a certain age, we 30, 40, 50 years old. Let's just keep it real, man. We're not virgins. Let's stop playing the game. Okay, let's stop doing it. Let's stop playing. So we should be able to have a conversation between a man and a woman sexually, and that it doesn't lead into anything. Now, in my opinion, sex on the first date, I don't have a problem with that, because we grown, we adults. That's not gonna make me look at you in any kind of way. That's my opinion. That's just me. That's not gonna cause me to look. But the conversations that we have will make me look at you in a certain way.
So
you see what I'm saying?
If you have sex on the first, we just have 9 minutes left. If you have sex on the first date, does that position the person in a better place in your life to probably process further, or that's just sex on the first date?
It's just a moment. We have to learn how to live in our moments. Just because I have sex with you don't mean you finna become a wife. Just because I had sex with you doesn't mean that you won't become a wife. We have to we how I live is I'm an adult. I don't waste a whole lot of time on a whole lot of unnecessary, all this over here. Look, we grown, we did what we did, life goes on. We have a conversation. We talk, we find out. Just because I had sex with you, like I said, just because I gave him son, he gonna stay with me. No. Just because you gave me something don't mean I'm gonna leave. It depends on what comes out of here and what comes from up here. This is our problem. A lot of ladies are walking around. You're talking about below the neck. You're talking about the hips. You're talking about the chest. You're talking about the behind. I keep telling y'all this. Only the men that are not worth anything only cares about that. If a man starts an interview or starts questioning, he's trying to find out what's going on up here. That's what a lot of you ladies miss out on. I swear you do. It ain't about the eyelashes and the weave, baby. It ain't. It brings out. It's cool. It's cool. It make you look good. But okay, baby, take them eyelashes off. Sit down. Wipe that makeup off. Let me holler at you. Let me see what the real person look like. Let me see what you look like in the morning. Let me see you bare. That's what I want to see. I want to see the bare you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need all the makeup because a lot of times, a lot of women are like that. If I don't have the weave, if I don't have the eyelashes, there's nothing to me. They get messed up behind that. And that's why I said a lot of ladies, baby, it's up here. I'm keep telling y'all, it's the brain. It really is.
Okay, so let's get Sharon and Marlene and Caprice in, and then we'll just kind of close it up for this session. I love this.
I want to ask Robert. So when he said that having sex on the first day, and he said something about that's just a moment, is that emotional? Is that being driven by emotionalism or logical? Because you said that woman, you're on mute.
Okay.
So it's just a moment. To me, that sounds like something emotional, not logical.
Well, in that moment, I felt you. You felt me. I mean, we grown. I'm a human. We have an innocence now. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing now. You feel it just like I feel it now. So if we decide to play off of that, if we play off of that energy, we grown. We just need to know how to handle it emotionally. Because like I said, for me, it was a moment with you. And if I want to continue that moment, it ain't about, well, I had sex with you. I'm going to cut you off. Now you trying to tell me because I had sex with you, I belong to you. No. That's But yeah, baby, that was just a moment.
Why would a man do that, understanding, especially a man who have been around and he knows that she's going to take more, she's going to be blowing up his phone, your phone, and all of that.
I don't know that.
But I don't know that. Chance, if she's emotional, why take the chance to have sex with her on the first date, knowing that she's going to think more of it than you do?
Okay, if you are emotional before we even go on our first date, even before we have sex, I'm gonna leave you alone. If you just meet each other and you all over the place, why am I dealing with you? You all over the place. You overly emotional. I ain't took you on your first date. I ain't even held your hand. And you losing your mind? Come on now. No, wait a minute. I mean, that's how I look at it. If that's where you're going, Doc. You said on the first date?
Yeah, but because the woman is going to walk away from that first date if it includes sex, thinking, oh my gosh, this man cares about me. This man, I'm in a relationship, all of that kind of stuff. Why put her through that if you know that that's when you're going to be just like, yo, man, telling your brother, your friends, or telling no one, that was really good. That was a really
like I said, that's her. And when you come back and I see because we had sex, I'm going to pull you to say, slow down, baby. I enjoyed the moment I had with you. It was, but slow down. That does not mean. We have to be honest. Women don't want you to be honest. I had to be honest with you. Baby, I did enjoy it, but slow down. That doesn't mean.
Now, after you speed off, you should slow down in the beginning.
That's good.
speed off, and then after you speed off, then you want to. That's in reverse.
You in the speeding lane, and then come back to me and say, "You slow down now."
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
There's no way. There is no way you guys should expect a logical person to enter into his emotions because we had sex on the first night. If I meet you on Monday and we go out Wednesday and you give me some, I repeat, I am not feeling anything emotional for you. I was operating purely off of my animalistic lust nature.
Listen,
That's it.
Women.
And women, y'all have the same animalistic lust state. Y'all act like y'all ain't there.
No,
Absolutely.
one of the purpose of these sessions for dating is for us to be able to come to that reality. And I think, in all fairness, when we know that and we hear that from these brothers, one of the things that Sharon says is that she changed her life so much in terms of listening to the man cave. And those of us who've been around the man cave enough, we have these brothers, and these brothers don't hold back. So when we're in that relationship, when we're starting off these dating things and the man has sex, we have to understand at that moment, there's a 99.9% chance that he just wanted to have sex. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what it is. And if you engage, it is unfair to put something on that have an expectation that cannot be met. I think that's what we're hearing.
Dr. Cheryl, one sec, because I had a conversation with a guy some time ago, and he was actually in the opposite, because he said that women thinks that men don't have emotions also, and that it's like, okay, when a woman have sex with a man, it's like, I give myself to you, and he was saying, well, I give myself to you too.
But minority. He's that point,
because
0.1 that we're talking about. But I'm saying, this is not me, because y'all get me and say, I'm liberal or whatever. I am not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying we're hearing this from the brothers. Yeah. And so if we're going into this and it happens, we cannot now say, oh my gosh, I didn't know, especially all 30 something of you who are on here on tonight. We heard that. I don't know if everybody is women, but we're hearing that. So rather than go in thinking this man is different, we need to think this man is the same like this man. And if I do that, I'm doing it of my own volition. I'm doing that understanding that this may not mean anything. I think that's fair.
Right. And Doc, here's another piece of advice from a man to a woman I would give. Ladies, tell the men up front if you're abstaining. Let him know one of your conversations that you have, I'm abstaining from sex. If that man disappears, the reason why he disappeared is because you're abstaining from sex. That's it. We got to start being honest with each other, just like I was honest about my side. If I have sex with you, that don't mean I don't want you anymore. I didn't say that. But if you come in because I done had sex with you, now you're clawing, you're choking me, you're holding on, and slow up, slow down, slow down. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's keep going through this, because here's the thing behind it. I don't want our relationship just to be solely established off sex, because a lot of people try to start relationships off sexual encounters, and that's where you mess up also. Just because he made you say ooh and ah, and you made my toes curl, that don't mean we supposed to be together. We got to have more
before we go. Before we go, this is my last question, and then I'll give you guys a chance to do the final words, and we'll be out of here. Is in a dating situation, and again, this is not me condoning. I think I've grown up in the past few years more than I've done in forever, because I believe that when I sit and I tell people you should not do what they're doing, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
No. what they're doing. They made a decision to do whatever. I have to find out why they're doing it and then have that discussion. And maybe in that discussion, I might go their way, they come my way. So I'm not condoning what I'm about to say. I'm not condoning. I'm just asking a question. A lot of people who say that they're not having sex during the dating period, whether it's because of they're being celibate or whatever, engage in oral sex.
Mm-hmm.
In our understanding, just your personal understanding, and I'm going to go with the ladies first and then go to the men. And starting with Caprice, we come down to Marlene. I don't know if Yvette is still frozen. Is that sex? Or is that oral sex? If we have, let's just not put the word sex to kind of sway you in any way, but oral. is that still being celibate? Is sex only penetration, vaginal penetration in a dating?
No.
You don't think oral sex is sex?
Mm-hmm.
I think oral sex is sex. Anything, yeah, it is. It's sex. Come down to it, it's a sexual act.
All right, I'm asking because I know people go, all right, there are people who say no. Okay, I see you guys. All right, I see them. No. All right, Marlene, what do you think?
I think oral sex is sex. And looking at it from a biblical perspective, the Bible talks about if you look upon a woman with lust in your heart, you already committed the act. So you actually engaging in oral sex where there are orgasms and things like that. But that is sex. I would classify oral sex as sex.
Okay, so somebody who's celibate. Okay, Sharon.
I absolutely think oral sex is sex, and not even from the biblical perspective, but from an emotional perspective. If women are tied emotionally to sex, we're just as tied to oral sex emotionally, and so that kind of emotional connection will come when you engage in it. So absolutely.
Okay, Yvette, oral sex or no sex? You're muted, babe.
Sorry. Yes, it is sex.
Okay, so let's go to the men, and Rob, what do you say? Sex, no sex?
Yeah, it's oral sex is sex. It is. I mean, that goes without saying. And if you're doing oral sex, be careful if you claim you are abstaining, because it goes from oral to penetration. So let's stop playing. If you're able to do oral, baby, go ahead and lay on your back. Stop playing.
Okay. Bruce, sex or no sex?
Yeah, it's absolutely sex. Absolutely.
So if a woman says, I want to be celibate, I would not have sex with you, but I'll do oral. Rob is saying she might as well just lay on her back.
Yes, yeah.
I'm finna look at you like this.
Yeah, like there's something wrong in your brain, man. You gotta play them games, baby. You ain't gotta play them games. Come on with all that, man. You know what I'm saying? And look, and listen. I'm gonna say this. As believers, we do not abstain. We are not celibate. Just hear my wordplay. We do not abstain. We are not celibate. We flee fornication.
Ooh.
You can come at me with this, I'm celibate, all you want to.
I know
if I got this work for you, you're going to get this work. But as a believer, the goal is to flee fornication. There's the spiritual aspect of it that we are keeping ourselves from. Priests, them Catholic folk, they do all that. And the perversions come in after that, if you understand what I'm saying. It opens up the door for several types of perversions or perverted thinking. One may be well, I'll do oral, but we won't do the actual physical act. It's a perverted thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's an imbalanced thought.
And that's very important, because especially remember, if we keep the scenario, the concept of the man being logical and the woman being emotional, he already knows, if I can get your mouth working over here right now, it's just a matter of time that, you know, I want to get inside of you. We got to do this, because
Right.
I mean, even with that, think about it. Even if especially if it's done both ways, if you do it to him, he does it to you, your clue's already off. You know, he can just kind of slip it all right on
That's
in.
it.
It's like,
Well, if you handling your business, it ain't gonna go that far.
okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
But
Like I said, if you really mean what you say, that's not even gonna cross your mind.
Yeah.
But if that's crossing your mind, go on, lay on your back, baby. Stop playing. You know,
Yeah.
okay. You done did it about 4 times like that. Go on, lay on your back. Just go. Let's go on, take care of this. Let's stop playing. Because if you like me that much, that you into me that much that you want to do oral, baby, stop playing. I already got you. Let's just keep. I already got you emotionally. Look, I got you because you doing this. You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't have that kind of connection with me. Let's just be honest.
Hey, Rob. I'm sorry, Doctor. We can just have 10 more minutes.
go ahead.
Listen, they say you overcome, the devil by the word of your testimony, right? So I found myself in a situation as a much younger man. I was involved with a very well-known gospel person.
What's the name? I'm just joking.
I will not.
Look at.
Listen,
Boy, that came right over in his eye. What? Woo!
This is what I mean when I say the perverted thinking. Now, this person was stating to me that no, we are not going to have vaginal sex. I'm saving. Hear me, Rob. Lord have mercy. I'm saving that for my husband. I'm saving that for my husband. But we had sex. Perverted thinking that comes from that. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever the justification in her mind was to thinking that you are going to present to your husband this flawless vessel. It's perverted thinking in your mind. Because just because I didn't touch that portion of your anatomy, your other portions were available.
Right.
That thinking is off, man.
But this is one of the reasons I want us to have this conversation, because I think, and then some people would think it's a bit much. We saying, penis and vagina. Actually, we're not saying the other words to describe them. But I think this is part of the conversation that we need to have. We're not being raunchy. We're not being disrespectful. But I think we need to be able to have these conversations. And somebody, when we were finished with Man Cave Conversation and the She Shed, people inboxed me and told me how much help they have gotten. So sometimes we sit here and we think this is just a conversation, but we're saving people's lives, people's marriages, people's relationship, and some women who think, you know what, he's been pressuring me. One of the things that Charles said some time ago that it's hard for me to swallow, that he was talking about the power of no, and how and the fact that a man wants you to say no. He's asking you because he feels that what you're saying is not true, and we give in and do it, so then we don't have a no. But when you come up to a woman who would actually say no, not in a mean way, but just saying, you know what, this is not something that I want to just do with anybody. I really mean it. But a lot of us say it for the first 90 days, and 91st, and like if we should get some kind of prize because we went 90 days according to Steve Harvey, but you still got it. And I'm
You
not,
with 90 days.
he's going to wait to the 91st day and get it and then still bounce. So there's no, it's not like if you wait to 90 days, a year, and then when he gets it, he's going to be happy. If the man wants to go, he's going to go. If he wants to stay, he's going to stay. So let's get final words from you guys. This was good. We have, hopefully you guys got my book. We talked about hello, from hello to I do. And let's get some final words from you guys so we can wrap this up until next week. Let's see. I'm gonna leave these men for last because they'll be saying something and messing up our end. All right, Caprice, give us your final word tonight.
My final thought is listening to this discussion is men want to be great leaders. So let's start leading by examples. If you want a good woman to follow, lead by example. Show us the type of woman, we don't need to have sex. No, lead by examples. And women, I think that we just have to start having a more discerning spirit as far as who we want to date. At first, hello. There's been times where a guy has hi, and I didn't even look up and say hi at him because my first thought is, I could see the corner of my eyes. You're not even my type, which is maybe unfair in some cases, but just not giving him that chance. But I think that we just have to stop being so picky and just have a really good conversation. Just have a conversation, and guys start to lead by example. You say you want a woman to be submissive. You want to be great leaders, and we only follow great leaders. So just lead by example.
That's really, really good. Article 3, we talked about being picky, and there's some positive and negatives to that. Caprice, it's always so great to have you. I know you're going to be back, and then we want to hear your take on some of the things that we talked about in the book. All right, until next time. Okay, so Molly, this was your first time with us. This is a combination of the She Shed and the Man Cave. Just kind of give us your final thoughts.
So my final thoughts based on the this discussion tonight was that men, they want to be leaders, and we women need to give them that opportunity so that they can lead us the right way. For women, we need to know our worth. We need to have boundaries because yes, we are emotional beings. So we need to stick to our values, what it is that are deal breakers for us and what will go against our values. We need to stick to that. Don't settle, but at the same time, remove the list. And removing the list doesn't mean to lower your standards or to settle, but it means to keep an open mind. Most of us have types, and having a type can limit your a potential spouse for you. There are great men out there, and we really have to remove that type. At the same time, do not lower your standards and have boundaries.
That's really, really good. We hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you enjoy reading the book. I really would love to get your take on it, and hopefully you come back again. All right. Thank you so much, Marlene. Okay, so Sharon, what's your last words for us?
Me on mute. So my final words are, first of all, get the book, From Hello to I Do. It's a practical guide that will just give you information that you can apply to your dating life. There's a common thread in the conversation tonight, and basically the men are honest about what they want, what they're looking for, and what it will take for them to enter into, a marriage with someone. So take it at face value, listen to what it is, and don't redefine what they're saying. Just take it at face value. Don't be tied to a timeline. Basically, don't be in a rush to put a date stamp on a relationship. You need to learn to get to know the person, and that takes time. You won't necessarily see how a person acts in a situation until they're in the situation. So look for triggers and how they, are just dealing with the things that are of value in a relationship, the things that will matter when you're in, a marriage with the person. And leave the emotion at the door. Don't be so quick to put your emotion invested into a relationship. Assess it, learn who the person is, and just basically be practical and have a goal set and have boundaries and stick to what those boundaries are.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. A woman after my own heart. You know, Sharon works as part of our admin team, and if you want the book, you can contact Sharon as well, Sharon and Yvette. Thank you so much. I don't even have to ask you if you're going to be back when I need you. You're going to be here. Love you, Sharon. Thanks so much.
No problem.
Okay. Yvette, let's get final words from you.
Okay. My final words are, I feel like relationships are great, and I feel like preparation is everything. Us as women, we need to prepare ourselves to be in relationship. And a part of the preparation is you want to do that internal work on yourself so that you can attract what it is you really want. And you have to be that best version of yourself in order to do that. I think that's number one. Number two, as it relates to a male and male energy and males who want to lead, I think that there's something very attractive about a man who can lead, because not every man can lead. But I think that there's something that's very attractive about a man who's confident, who has wisdom, and who has vision for the future, who would be able to lead the relationship and the woman in the relationship. I think most women do want to submit to a man, but they want a man who's competent. They want a man who is, I feel like the emotional part of a man, especially when you're talking about alpha men, they might not want to give in to that. But we are all created as emotional beings. There's some portion of us that connects to emotion. I think that the environment has to just be safe in order for that to uh, be okay for a man to say, all right, yeah, actually admit that they have emotions. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, though. But thank you, Dr. Holmes, for this opportunity, this platform, and your book is amazing. So everyone should definitely get the book, because trust me, it works.
Good. And one of the great things that Yvette and her fiance did is that they took counseling session during the dating period. So they have me in their corner as well. So some of the things that they would have gone through by themselves, they have invested in having that kind of counseling session, very intense mask removing session. So Yvette, we just kind of wish you all the best. We know you're part of my team. So again, you guys can reach out to Yvette if you can't reach me, and I don't have to ask you if you're coming back. I just need to tell you you're going to be back.
Yes, absolutely. I'll be back.
All right. Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm putting people back. Oh, all right, Rob. I was trying to find Bruce to end with you, but give us your final words. You're muted. You're muted.
What I want us to understand is we're not enemies, male or female. We're not. Ladies, one thing that you need to understand in this dating world: be the woman that you are. Stop trying to be the 2020s woman. Whatever, don't go by trends. Be the woman who you are. When you know who you are, the man comes to you. You attract those type of men. When we talk about your types and this, that, and other, when you know who you are, your energy that you give off, those men will gravitate to you. Another thing I would like to say, I appreciate Dr. Holmes for having this platform, because it has helped. Like I said, even with me, there are some things that I learned on the platform out of the man cave, and there's some things I learned from the sisters tonight on this platform. So I recommend everybody gets that book. Also, if you want to get into some counseling and some therapy, this is one of the persons that I would recommend to you, whether you are single, whether you are dating, whether you finna get married, or why you still married, because you still gonna have to have some counseling and therapy coming up. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much. Listen, when you guys are in the room, I feel really, really good, because I like the way that you bring it. Some people want it in the church. It doesn't mean that you're not a man of God. So I really, whenever I can call, and I thank Charles for introducing me to you tonight. He said, I can't come. Do you want me to call Rob? I was like, Rob is my friend. I already got Rob. So you guys need to follow Rob. He has some really great sessions and this is the thing. We're not competing. We're complementing each other. And so Rob, I'm not on here all the time. Rob is on more often. So if you can get to me, please follow him and, just jump on to some of those great conversation that he's having. Thank you so much, Rob.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, let's end with the Bruce man. Give us your final words, sir.
I would first like to shout out my sister Yvette for the manner in which she is conducting her dating process. That should be the blueprint. In addition, I would also like to say that I will buy your book, Doctor, any day over that stuff that Steve Harvey put out. Pause. Really quickly, I would say to the sisters that's trying to date, there are 3 things that you should immediately yet patiently find out about the person that you are dating, because the root word for dating is data. Find out about this man. What do you have? How did you get it? Where are you going? And how do you plan on getting where you are going? That's about 3 months worth of conversation right there. And you will know if you fit into that dynamic or not, or if this guy is a joker or not. Men, we are not complex. It is very simple. You have to have the tools and the self-control and the boundaries to maintain your self-energy. You have to have that self-control when you are dating these guys out here in 2020.
So you're the go-to person. I said to Bruce, you're on my show tonight. He said, okay. Thank you so much. I am so proud of you. I'm seeing you doing your own thing. Most of the times you would have been on with somebody else, but I love seeing you there, asking those questions, those hard questions, provoking these women in ways that they didn't even know that they could be provoked, and all for the objective is to make us think, to make us better. You're one of our graduates at Holmes Training Academy. We're proud of you. Keep on doing what you're doing, and we're looking forward to more. One of the things that Rob calls in his thing is a TV show, so we're looking for the Bruce, the Bat Cave, it's the Bat Cave. Mm-hmm. And so Bruce has the Bat Cave where it's only men. There's no women at all. And quite a few men are in there. So follow Bruce. That's one person I know you're going to get the truth from. Thank you so much, Bruce. I really appreciate you. Well, this was a really great time that we have. And tonight we talked a little bit about types. And the 2 things I want to leave with you. The first thing, the book talks about from hello to I do. Don't miss the hellos. Don't try to assess everything about the person. The person you disregard might be the person who might give you a beautiful experience. And as women, we need to understand that men feel rejected as well. And one of the things that we talk about, I talk about people who I'm counseling, who are coaching, who are dating, is what, even if, especially online, if you have to say no, be gracious, be feminine, be sweet. Even if a man meets you on the street and he looks like, I don't know, somebody you would never say hello to, be kind. We're missing out on those little things, those little things that make us Christian. So even if you have to say no to someone, think that is a human being behind the way the person saying hello. You may miss out on a great opportunity. So be kind. When someone says hello, say hello. If it's moving into a direction that you're not going, just say that with some kind of finesse and femininity that the man would not feel totally rejected. The second thing that we talk about in the book that you would want to get is how to identify your type. And we give you a structure. This book is a book of instructions. So we give you a structure, how to go back and look at everyone that you, a system that look at everyone that you dated, look at the similarities and be able to determine what your type is. When you find your type, you make a decision that you would never date your type again. And the reason why you would never date your type again, because that did not work. Everybody that you had on that list that we can show you how to make are exes. Exes. The last thing, I know I said two, but I'm a preacher as well. But the last thing is to kind of figure out if the relationships are ending because the other people are bad. And take some self-inventory, because the possibility of you being the person that's ruining those relationships is very, very high. And when we tell the story, we talk about how great we are and how fantastic we are and how super we are. But that has not been the experience of the people that whose life we were in. In fact, someone should still be able to say something nice and great about you if you exit their life. They should be able to say, you know what, this person was a great man, a great woman, but, we just didn't get along. The common denominator in all those failures, especially if it comes to marriage, if by the time you get to your second and third marriage failing, you have to sit down and ask yourself, is the problem me? So the first thing, don't ignore the hellos because you may get a really great experience. Secondly, check the type, and then don't date your type. And the third thing, do some self-inventory and see if the problem with this whole dating and repartnering is not coming from you. The book is a really great book, something that God has given me just for you. So we hope that you get a copy. If this has been a blessing to you, please leave us some hearts. Tell us that you want us to do it again, and we will. All right. Thanks so much. And until next time, bye-bye.